From the region's only locally owned station, you're watching the news leader, WDAY.
Next on First News and new overnight, a fire at a truck stop caused it to close down for nearly an hour. We'll tell you what firefighters think started the fire and what needs to happen before the restaurant there can reopen. And you're looking live in London this morning, where overnight King Charles III was announced as Britain's newest monarch. We'll tell you why the announcement is historic. And a live look outside in the metro. It'll be a calm and quiet day, but it might get chilly for some. Storm tracker meteorologist Tim Albertson will tell us who could see temps down in the 30s by tonight. Good morning, everyone. It's Saturday, September 10th. It's just a few minutes after 8 a.m., and I'm Jenna Scott. And let's check in with Tim for a look at your morning forecast.
Thanks, Jenna. Well, this morning we're seeing pretty much mostly clear skies across the area. A few clouds up around the Grand Forks area. Today, mostly clear skies with highs in the upper 60s. But will that continue in our forecast? We'll talk about that coming up in just a few moments.
New overnight, a fire at a busy truck stop forced the station to close for about an hour. That happened at the Flying J truck stop off I-29 just before 11:30 last night. Fargo fire leaders tell WDAY it started in some kitchen equipment inside the Huddle House restaurant. Firefighters were able to put it out in just a few minutes. The entire gas station was closed for about an hour as crews cleaned up and checked to make sure the fire didn't spread to other parts of the building. Before the restaurant can reopen, a health inspector will need to visit the site today. Stick with the news leader as we work to learn the cause of the fire and when the restaurant will reopen. And newly released surveillance video of the murder of a Fargo teenager was the key evidence presented in court and showed several missed opportunities to stop the attack sooner. Prosecutors played the entire 28-minute attack in court yesterday in the trial of Arthur Colley. The video is grainy because the camera is about 250 feet away, but prosecutors say it clearly shows 24-year-old Colley pinning 14-year-old Jupiter Paulson up against the wall and stabbing her 24 times and strangling her in a random attack. In the video, prosecutors say a dozen cars, including a transit bus, drove through the parking lot. They pointed out that 9 minutes into the video, you see a trash truck drive past the attack. There were no 911 calls made until a second trash truck driver who stopped the attack 19 minutes later.
That first guy could have stopped and called 911 or at least got involved. Probably would have saved her life, to be honest with you.
And prosecutors started to get into why the trash truck driver never called 911, but Colley's lawyer objected, claiming hearsay, so the answer never did come out in court. The trial will resume Monday morning. And we're also tracking new information on a triple murder-suicide in a farm field near Devil's Lake. Authorities are now confirming who fired the gun. The Towner County Sheriff says 59-year-old Robert Bracken shot and killed his son, 34-year-old Justin, brother, 64-year-old Richard, and his boss, 56-year-old Doug Dulmage. Police say the three men were shot multiple times with a handgun. It happened last Monday while they were harvesting Doug Dulmage's wheat crop. All three of the Brackens worked for him. It's still unclear what the dispute was about and the exact order of how things went down. And let's take a live look in London this morning, where King Charles III was announced as Britain's monarch overnight. This accession council ceremony happened in London's St. James Palace, and right now you're looking at Parliament. Charles was accompanied by his wife, Queen Consort Camilla, and his oldest son, Prince William. The ceremony was televised for the first time in history. The proclamation was followed by the audience's exclamation of "God save the King." There will continue to be ceremonies commemorating the death of the longest-serving monarch in British history after a 7-decade reign. And you can bet Adele Hankey of rural Park River, North Dakota, will be glued to the TV the next few days as the world mourns the death of Queen Elizabeth. Adele and the Queen had quite a special bond, and they both were born on the same day in the same year, sparking an exchange of cards and letters spanning more than 7 decades. The story this morning from WDAY News reporter Kevin Wallivan.
Good morning, everyone. What a special bond for Adele Hankey from rural Park River, North Dakota. From Park River, Kevin Wallivan, WDAY News.
By the way, Adele is a media star. She's a longtime recipe writer for the Walsh County Record. Her column is called Dabble Along with Del. And if you're thinking of heading to Dairy Queen for a sweet treat today, the one near you might be closed. The Osgood Dairy Queen near the Hornbachers on 45th Street shows up as permanently closed on Google. If you drive by, you can see signs hanging on the drive-through speaker. DQ representatives say the closure is from multiple issues. The Osgood DQ has now filed for abandonment of its lease and its DQ license agreement. Representatives say the abandonment hearing will be at the end of September. And coming up on First News, Bison fans, it's game day. We've got your reminder on when you can catch all things Bison right here on WDAY.